Welcome to the 2017 Summer Home Program. Let's go ahead and start by breathing and raising our arms up, feeling our scapula rotate. Inhale up and exhale down. Let's do two more. Inhale up and exhale down and inhale up. We're going to go ahead and go right into heel pumps right now. Here we go. And little bounces. The heels barely leave the floor, and then you'll stop, walk around the space after your first set, breathing, maybe take a few seconds, and you'll go ahead and raise your arms up again, and you'll repeat it. Great. Do that 2 more times. Next, we'll go into jumping jacks. Feeling that same rhythm of the scapula, raising, rotating up, not raising, rotating as the arms come up. Feel the lower part of your scapula winging outward, coming around the front of the rib cage. The inferior angle of the scapula is going to be rotating around, just like that. So we'll do 10 in each direction. 1, 2, 9, 10, and 1, 2. All right, you get the point. We'll do 2 roll downs. Go ahead and take your feet hip width apart, cascading up and over like you're a waterfall, lengthening the front body, supporting the core. Nice and smooth on this first one. The knees can be soft. At the bottom, bend the knees a little bit more. You can use your hands on your thighs if you need a little extra support right now. We'll go ahead and take 1 more. At the bottom of this one, we'll walk out into a plank, and we'll come to all fours. Walking out to plank, dropping the knees down to all fours. From here, we'll go into cat-cow. Inhaling up, arching the spine, and exhaling down, and inhaling up, and exhaling down. Let's do a couple tail wags. Float the right toes off, look over the right toes, and across. We'll do 1 more set of that, and across. Other side, left toes float off, looking at the left foot, crossing the body. Pure lateral flexion here. And floating back down. Some sternum drops, letting the sternum come closer to the floor, shoulder blades come together, and shoulder blades open like elevator doors. The whole time, the scapula are reaching down toward the pelvis so the shoulders are not elevating. You'll do 4 of those. And we'll go ahead and come into a plank, opposite arm leg reach. So after the sternum drops, we'll do opposite arm leg reach. Floating 1 hand and 1 knee off the ground, doing your best not to move the spine, and back down again. Go ahead and take a breath up at the top. That's it. From there, you'll go ahead and take a plank. Take 3 breaths here at the top of the plank. And you'll lower down after 3 breaths. From here, we'll go into rocket arms. Rocket arms, we'll go ahead and roll our shoulders down and back, hollowing in the abs, so the abs are lifted slightly off the floor, reaching the arms up, and we're going to do pulses here. We'll inhale and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and do 50 of those. Once you're done with that, put the hands under the head, go ahead and bend 1 leg at a time, flex that foot, and kick that heel up to the ceiling, keeping the same hollow engagement in the abs, not sinking into the low back. So pubic bone is still connected to the floor here. You'll do 10 of those on each leg, trying to kick that heel straight up to the ceiling, without deviating in the pelvis. From there, you'll go ahead and roll onto your back. And you're going to do some articulated bridging. So starting with the tailbone, curling up all the way to the top, and softening down again, sequencing through the spine. After you do 4 of these, you'll stay at the top. You'll stabilize, and you'll float 1 leg off the tabletop. From here, you'll pulse down and up, and down, and up, and you'll do this 4 times, up, and down, and up, replacing that leg down, floating the other leg off with minimal deviation, down, and up, just pulsing about 2 inches, and up, and down, and up, and last one, and up, replacing that foot down, and articulating back down through the spine. Let's do some ab work. We'll take a couple ab preps here. You can do neutral or anchored to the spine. Inhale the arms up, and exhale, coming up. Inhale down, and exhale coming up. Now that the abs are awake, let's go ahead, float one leg off the tabletop, other leg off the tabletop. You'll put both palms, heels of the palms on the thighs, and come up into an ab prep, pushing with your hands, pulling up with the legs for 15 seconds. Should be quite intense. After you've done that, go ahead and take a little break. A few breaths here. Float those legs off again. Cross the hands, pushing across the body, feeling the obliques light up here. Same thing, working in a slightly imprinted spine. The other one is slightly imprinted as well. Once you've done your 15 seconds, then go ahead and easily sequence back down. Let's go into a set of the hundreds. Floating those legs back off again. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, come into that ab prep, neutral or imprinted spine here. And inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. If this feels easy to you, you can go ahead and extend the legs, and you can lower them as you feel ready. After you've done that, if you feel like it, you can go into series 5. So you'll go ahead and do single leg stretch, into double leg stretch, into single straight leg stretch, into double straight leg stretch, lowering just as far as you feel comfortable, into bicycles, so crisscrossing, wrapping the bottom ribs to the opposite hip. Let's go ahead and come back up to the tabletop and bring your knees, bring one hip to the opposite lower ribs. Feeling crisscross activation and lowering back down. Now right hip to left, lower ribs. Diagonal contraction here. Feeling that you're lifting that hip off with the obliques. Easy, back down. We'll roll over again, come back into child's pose. Take a few recovery breaths here. When you're ready, tuck the toes, push back to your heels, straighten the legs up a bit, and easily roll up. For this next exercise, you're going to face the wall. You're going to go ahead and rotate your hands in about 45 degrees, and you're going to face the wall. And put the hands about even with your shoulders. You want to keep the body in one long line. You're going to drop your sternum toward the wall and then push up again, seeing how much motion you can have in the scapula. You don't want to bend the arms here. This is a serratus anterior exercise. Okay? From there, this is the push-up progression. We'll go ahead and bend. The hands now are not at the 45. Elbows are going to lower slightly. And if you have a wall that doesn't have a bar on it, you can go ahead and lower yourself a little closer to the wall, maybe coming all the way flat. Once that gets easy, you'll go ahead and move lower on the wall or move to a really high table or the back of a bench, something like that. Same thing. Elbows can come down, shoulders are staying down and depressed, and up. So, next version of the push-up progression is going to be here. You have a pretty good amount of weight on your knees, and you're just going to easily lower yourself down. The butt's going to stay up. Once that feels easy, you'll come into one straight line. Should be slightly more difficult. Once that gets easy, then you go to the standard push-up. Weight in the heels, knees not in front of the ankles, back arched, abs on, hands can start back behind you. Toes can be off the ground a little bit. You can bring the hands forward, sit the hips back further, knees not in front of the ankles, knees soft, whole back body chain on. That's the founder. The next part is moving into the Blackburn series with a flat back. So, you can go ahead and, if you don't have a bench to do this on, you can get into a flat back position, and you're going to bring the arms up and then squeeze the scapula together. Lower the scaps, lower the arms. arms up, scaps squeeze together, lower them, come back down. Next one is with the thumbs up. Starts the same, arms come up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, shoulders down, arms, arms, shoulders, shoulders, arms. Next one, you're going to have goalpost arms with your thumbs up. Same thing, flat back. You might need to take a break in between. Flat back over, arms come up, scaps squeeze together, arms rotate, and back down, lower. Arms up, scaps squeeze together, thumbs up to the ceiling, and down. Next piece, if you don't need a break, hands will be by the sides, palms up, rotate the shoulders down and back, squeeze the hands up to the ceiling, lower, and release. For the next part, we're going to do some rowing and some scapular adduction or retraction. Go ahead and take your band, loop it around your feet, sit nice and tall on your sits bones, and easily retract the scaps a little bit so they're in a relatively neutral place, and we'll go ahead and row in and out again, making sure that you're not splaying in the rib cage, bottom of the rib cage stays connected to the pelvis, and back in again. You can increase resistance by choking up on your band a little bit, that'll make it a little harder, or you can also double the band up if these are getting really easy for you, make it twice as hard. The next part of this is after you've rowed in, you can go ahead and squeeze the scaps together, back, and release. Rowing in, squeeze the scaps together, and release. And then you can go ahead and do a few that just flow. So we're not going for full retraction here, but the scapula are moving on the back. The next series is called the Killer series. So you're going to go ahead and put one hand behind your head, and the other hand is going to come up and make a fist. You're going to step forward on the opposite foot of the hand and punch forward. So your scapula is moving, it's protracting, it's retracting, and you're going to do 20 of these. Eventually you could progress to using a 2.5 pound weight in your hand that's moving. This is what it looks like from the side. You'll do that on both sides. Then you'll go ahead and do it with both hands. You'd have 2 weights in your hands here, alternating. The next piece, you'll go ahead and take that arm behind the head again. You'll be in parallel and you'll step out and bring the arm up to the side, abducting. Try and keep your shoulder down and just rotate it up. So rotate the scapula while keeping the scapula depressed. If you have a weight, you'd be holding it in your hand right now. 2.5 pounds at the most. Once you've done 20 of these, you'll switch and go to the other side. So if you don't have a weight, you're just going to lie down and you're going to cross your bottom hand up onto that shoulder. You can give it a little bit of feedback to make sure that it stays aligned and doesn't come forward too much. Your elbow is going to be in line with the body, and you're just going to be rotating the humerus, so there's not going to be any movement of the humerus other than rotation. Okay? So, if you have your weight, you can use it, otherwise it's good to start without a weight. And at first, you should start doing these slow so you pattern the movement well, and then after you feel comfortable, you can speed this movement up. And ideally, you do 25 of these as fast as possible. You're going to take your weight. You're going to go ahead and do flat back again. You'll come into the same position that you were in when you did the black print series, and you're going to externally rotate, internally rotate your upper arm. Same thing here. You just want to have the humerus rotating. It's not going to go anywhere else. The scapula are slightly retracted here. And eventually, you're going to work toward going as fast as possible. If you have a table, a massage table, or a clinic table, you could lay on that, coming to the side of it, or even the side of the bed and do the same thing. You're going to do this on both sides as well. Now you'll go ahead and walk out to plank, and then you can stack everything up, shoulders and hips. If you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and stack your feet too. That's going to make it more challenging, or you can leave your feet in place. From there, you'll go ahead and let your hips drop down to the floor, looking at your hand, and then coming up and over. Try and keep your body in one long line here, and you're going to work for pure lateral flexion here. Do as many of these as you want. And you can switch through the middle to come to the other side, either keeping the feet where they are, or if you feel like it, you can stack them up for a little bit of an added challenge. Once you've done those, you can come back and do the side bend twist. So here you're going to be threading that hand through the armpit and then back up again. Threading it through smoothly and controlled to the other side. That's it. From here, you're probably going to need to take a little break, so go ahead and do that. The next thing we're going to do is let's examine the structure that we're going to need to use for downward facing dog or any kind of weight bearing where our hands are above our head. When your hands are above your head, just like we did earlier, you want your scapula to rotate upward and you want your armpit to be facing forward. That's going to be a safer place for the joint as opposed to out here, which is it's a more open, less close packed position of the joint. So that means in your down dog, you're going to go ahead and feel your armpits reaching down toward the floor. Scapula upwardly rotating. That should feel like a really solid position. Once that feels like a pretty good place, you can go ahead and start walking around in some bear walks, taking weight from one hand to the next. You can keep it up like this, or you can go ahead and come a little bit lower. Either way, you want to make sure you're pushing down strong with the scapula, just like all of the sternum drop and the scap dip work that we've done already. Make sure that you're protracting, punching down strong through the hands, supporting that joint. Walk around the Sphinx.